Welcome back to another Lakescape podcast. I'm Daniel Jackson. I have our guest today, Robert Holmes. He is the co-founder of Xanigo Marine, and Xanigo Marine is a product we've been using for numerous years now, and we're real pleased with the results we get, and our customers love it. I'm sure you've seen a lot of cleaning products out on the market, and I want Robert to tell us a little bit today about their product and what makes them different than the others.
Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate the time and the opportunity to be here. And yeah, so we make a line of products that are really geared around the problem first, right? Being an entrepreneur, when we stepped into this space, we really wanted to solve a problem. So we really looked at the boating industry and said, where are those big problems that maybe there's been an attempt over the years to solve and no one's really done it really well? And one of the things we looked at was, where is there great fragmentation, right? Where are there a lot of solutions in one little area trying to do one thing? And it became pretty obvious pretty fast that mold and mildew and the challenge of mold and mildew on boats and in the marine space in general was an obvious one, that there are a lot of solutions out there, but yet still a lot of unhappy people in regards to the mold and mildew on their boats and dealing with this. So that's where we dove into, and we developed kind of a different approach around that. And that approach really started with looking at the holistic part of the problem, right? Not only once I have the problem, how do I get rid of the problem, but what creates the problem to begin with? And by taking that holistic approach and look at it, we're able to develop a solution that's not just a single chemical. It's not just a set of chemicals. It is a single chemical and a set of chemicals, but it's also a protocol that if you do these steps this way, you will make a significant difference on the mold and mildew growth on your boat. And ultimately, that's what we're out to do. We're not out there to solve somebody's initial problem. We're not out there to make something shiny and bright. We are, certainly in a way, but the way that we want to do this is to create an environment where the challenges don't exist, and so that you can go out and enjoy your boat more often, not spend all your time frustrated that you just spent $300,000 on this wakeboard boat and you have all these black spots on your seats and you can't get rid of them.
And Robert, I've known you for a while now, and I know that you take a different approach on a lot of things, and protocol is really important to you. Kind of paint your vision for us and what you envision, going forward with Xanigo.
Yeah, so it's interesting because, typically in the space, in the marine space, you see that companies are a chemical company or a tool company or a software company. I don't want to be any of those or all of those, right? Yeah. I want to be a company that solves challenges for boaters to create a better boating experience. And honestly, it takes all of those. And to build that vision in one organization can create systems that everyone can adopt. And so currently, you can see that we have power tools. You can see that we have great chemical solutions with unique applicators. The next step is software. We believe that one of the challenges with being focused on prevention is that you have to be diligent and routine. And so I've had many conversations with folks on the phone where they say to me, "Man, your products work awesome. The preventer worked great. Mold and mildew did not come back. I didn't get any stains on it." And then I'd have a conversation. I'm like, "That's awesome. Thanks for the phone call." And then they'd say, "But I need to order a little bit more remover." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. We just had this conversation. You said everything worked great. Why are you?" He goes, "Well, I didn't get it back in time." Yeah. And literally, I've had probably 5 of those conversations. And by the 5th time, I'm like, "Okay, what are we doing here now?" Right? This is another failure to the protocol, which ultimately is to the result. And it's the human failure, right, of not being diligent enough to follow up on the things you need to follow up on. And so we all use our phones. We're in our phones 99% of the time during the day, right? We're all looking at it for every 10 minutes. And so I thought, what if I can write a reminder app? And of course, when I started doing that, it's grown to something much bigger. We'll be launching what we call the Perfect Boat by Xanigo Marine here in a couple months. And yeah, it's going to be a really nice application. 3 different levels of applications, everything from the folks in the marina that are trying to stay diligent on the preventive tasks across their fleets, whether that's a rental fleet or the folks that are their customers, with them at the marina. Also, just a boat owner app that says, okay, if you can manage up to 3 boats, and here's build all your tasks in there you want to do on your boat. On the regular, if you want to do it every 30, 60 days, every 30, 60, 90, 120 days, if you want to do it every 28 days, right? You schedule exactly how you want to do it, and then you constantly get reminders and again, additional communication on how to do things proper.
Yeah. Kind of diving into some of the products you've got, we're very familiar with the mold and mildew preventer. We use that heavily with just all kind of applications in the marine construction world. We've started, using it on decking. We've done it on furniture in our world, and of course, a lot of our customers use it on their boat as well. Kind of tell us about how you guys came up to and with that product, and what was involved in developing it.
Yeah, sure. So the product is an antimicrobial, and so antimicrobials have existed for a number of years. They've been out in the marketplace for 30 plus years, but this one is a little unique because it is an antimicrobial that's stabilized in water, and so most other antimicrobials that exist in the marketplace all are stabilized in some type of either ethanol or methanol, which if you own a $300,000 wakeboard boat, you don't want to go spray ethanol or methanol all over your beautiful interior, right? And so there's certain things, and especially the different things that are in a boat's interior, the different metals and fiberglass and fabrics and all the different things, right? You want to make sure that whatever you're spraying is not going to harm any of that. Beyond that, a water-based and water-stabilized product becomes very water-resistant, right? The old saying, oil and water doesn't mix. Well, you take something and you apply it that's been stabilized in oil, and then you apply it to something that say, hey, fight off this water. Yeah, they fight, right? They literally fight. Where if you have something that's stabilized in water, you spray it on with water, it lives in water, it knows water. When it gets rained on, when it gets splashed on, it says, hey, this is the environment I live in. It's no big deal. I'm just going to continue to do what I always do. Yeah. And so the product itself makes what's called a covalent bond. If anybody has done any organic chemistry, right, they understand that terminology, which is basically this product attaches to the organic molecule in the seat or in the whatever it lands on, whatever surface it lands on. Organic materials in almost everything. Fiberglass has carbon molecule. Vinyl has carbon molecule. It attaches to that carbon molecule, and it says, okay, this is where I'm going to live here. And the mold and mildew, right? It is they grow and they live, and they have to have food to grow. And so it just so happens that what it's looking for when it lands is also that organic material to eat. And so when it goes there and it sees that this product is attached to that same organic molecule, it looks at it and says, this is not going to work out well for us, right? Yeah. And so it creates an environment where it just doesn't want to be. It can't thrive. It can't live. It can't grow. And that's what we do. Really neat science behind it. It's basic chemistry. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's just, again, with the protocol, with the 3 steps, with the teaching people exactly how to do this, we are making a significant difference in the space for sure. And the thing that I always point to is, like you, and you found success with the product, it's our customers that kind of tell us when we're on and when we're off, and we continue to steer and make changes as needed to make sure that we're hearing that voice of the customer, and we've been blessed to have a lot of positive energy. That's for sure.
And would it be safe to say, the way that this creates a protective layer, that it works on pretty much any material?
Yeah, so it does. That as long as it can make that bond, right? Yeah. So I will tell you, there are some surfaces that are tough to bond to. Stainless steel. Stainless steel is a tough one to bond to. Any really hard compound like that is tough to bond to. But most everything, you're going to get a good bond and a good attachment. And
stainless steel is not something that you're really going to be concerned about.
Yeah, certainly not from mold and mildew growth.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
More microorganism growth for sure. But it's not that it won't bond. It just won't stay there as long, right? It just it may bond, may strong. Bond might be as strong as if it was on another material, so it doesn't last as long. So that's the deal there. And again, our system is, if you've got mold and mildew, you got to get it off. So it's really about the mold and mildew stains, right? If you don't see mold and mildew, right? And there's no worries, right? But once it's on there and it creates these stains, you want to get rid of the stains, right? That's what it is. So it's to get rid of the stains. So you get rid of the mold and mildew stains, and you follow that up with the waterless wash, which helps neutralize this preventer, and also creates basically what is what I always call the scuff for your paint job, right? When you know, if you've ever worked in a body shop, the more time you spend scuffing and the straighter you get the car and the better job you do on the front end when you lay that paint down, it's going to be a better job. Same thing here, right? The better you wipe down with a waterless wash, the better environment you create to accept the preventer. Yep. And so the final step is to spray the preventer on. You let it dry on there, sure. and then it does its thing.
Yeah, and we've encouraged our customers to keep the waterless wash, with them on the boat. They can have it at the house when they come back. If they have any spots, they can clean up maybe around the console of the boat, and just kind of keep that as more of a cleaner because it does not take the preventer off.
Correct.
Of where you've done the treatment. So
yeah, which is key. Which is why we focus on developing a holistic system. Right? Mm-hmm. It's not again, we could have easily done this, and this our customers tell us this is the best performing remover in the market. Right?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it is.
But this isn't the solution.
Exactly.
Right? This is not the solution. So we've created really good products at each step, but the three of them together, wow! Sure. Right? Now you're making a difference.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and some of the testimonials I've seen, the proof is there. You can go online and search Xanigo Marine, and it's all over. Yeah. The videos of the guy, wrapping his boat, and he's got half of it treated just to test it and prove it to himself it's going to work, and then half of it spotless where he treated it with the, preventer, and the other has mold spots all over the top of the seat.
Yeah.
That's, if you need any more proof than that,
yeah.
I don't know if we can get it to you. But yeah, that's kind of the the package and the treatment plan that you started with Xanigo.
Right.
And since you've launched several more products, and we're happy to kind of be a part of that. And with the deck cleaner, we work closely with you guys, kind of getting that to the market and helping do some testing. And,
sure.
And we've done a lot with that. We're doing the kits with the deck cleaner kits and the brush, and our customers love that. It's a gift that we do. We've kind of packaged that up with your assistance and guidance on kind of getting that as a package. So that's been great. And then, tell us about some of the latest products that have come to market.
Yeah, so really going back to what we're really trying to do is to save the aggravation of the boater so that people can go out and have a good time boating. I love to talk to somebody that's intensely diligent about cleaning their boat, right? And they're we'll use the word anal, right? Mm-hmm. About making sure their boat is clean, and so they want to make sure that they've got everything clean. And I love to listen to those people because they all tell you, right, all those little aggravating things that they don't have a solution for. And so anytime that I go do a show or I do a customer visit, my listening ears are on big time, and that's all that I'm doing is looking for these little challenges and these little problems that folks aren't necessarily satisfied with. Also then backing up and looking at, okay, what exists in the marketplace today? And if I find something that's very fragmented, right, then looking at, okay, is there a better way to do this, right? And so we've created everything from a zipper and snap lube set. If anybody's having a zipper that gets stuck on their boat or on their bimini top, on their isinglass, it is frustrating, right? Yeah. It's absolutely frustrating to have, a $1 million yacht and you're dealing with not getting a zipper down, right? And it's crazy. Now, along with that, again, is not only having a good solution to provide the assistance of making sure that you're lubricating and cleaning your zippers, but it's also teaching that protocol of how often should I be doing this and why should I be doing it and how should I be doing it.
Sure.
And so, again, we're not all about just creating a chemical solution. We're all about creating a chemical solution that has a specific protocol defined that we can teach people how to make ultimately a better result in the end game. And so we have a 3-piece zipper and snap lube set. Same thing with snaps. When snaps get stuck, typically get corroded. And they have unique ways that we approach it, being that most people lubricate zippers when their zippers are unzipped, when they're open, and they're using some type of a chapstick type stuff, which sometimes can stick on there and be more of attractant to additional dirt. And so looking at all this and looking at all of these solutions out there, we just looked at it and said, there's got to be a better way to do this. So we created an applicator, a set of applicators that really kind of focus on the application of the zippers and the applications of the snaps. And rather than looking at it and saying, okay, why do we only have a lubricant that's doing the job? When the reality is when you've got a zipper that needs to be lubricated, it also needs to be clean. It doesn't do you any good, especially in the saltwater environment, to go out there and throw lubrication all over salt and things that are already beginning its corrosion process. And so what you want to do is make sure that you're cleaning at the same time. So we created a solvent and a lubricant together. They're all in one chemical, so it's not only lubricating, but it's actually, the solvent is actually doing the work to break apart the dirt and make it go away. And so we've created these applicators, one with a brush head where you simply run it down a closed zipper and the fluid goes into it, or a snap that has an abrasive head on it, snap loop system that has abrasive head, and you just rotate it on the snap. And just looking at it different ways is to say, okay, how can we solve these problems different than other people have in the marketplace? And and honestly, it's a lot of experimentation. It's a lot of fun testing. It's a lot of getting things in people's hands and saying, hey, go try this, right? We're blessed to have hundreds of detailers that work with us on a regular basis. And the nice thing about detailers is that they're vocal, right?
Sure.
If something works, they're screaming about it, right?
Yeah.
But if something doesn't work, they're also screaming about it. So the right thing to do there is use them on the front end, right?
Yeah.
Wait, not launch something and then hand it to them and then let them scream about why it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? Let's develop something and get it to a point where they can test it and get them out to the market to 50 of them to test and get their feedback.
Yeah, when you showed me the design of that, I mean, immediate thought was it's such a clever design, and I really hadn't seen anything like it. Then I started thinking, why? Because it seems like it's the most logical approach to clean the zipper and not get stuff everywhere. And then, you solve the two problems with one little applicator.
Right. Right.
So I thought that was great. One other thing I want to point out about all of your products is the bio-based. Yeah. And so tell us a little bit about what that means.
Yeah, so we do have a number of the products in the line are bio-based. Not all of them, but just simply because we can't achieve the result that we need to with being bio-based. But our purpose and really what we're trying to drive to is make safe products in all situations where we can. We do have bio-based products when it comes to our degreaser, our corrosion inhibitor, our dock and deck that you had mentioned, our rub rail and shore power cord cleaner are all bio-based. They're registered with the USDA Bio-Preferred program, which basically gives their stamp that say, yes, this is 94% bio-based. It's all made from biomaterials. And the concept there is that, in areas where we know we have potential 100% runoff or potentially things going into the bilge and getting pumped into the water or getting pushed off into the water in another environment. We want to make sure that we're doing something where we feel that we're creating something that's as safe as possible. And where do you do that? You start with something that comes from the earth to begin with. Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how we've worked on those. And it's been sometimes very challenging for our chemical guys to get in there and test these things. Sometimes it takes over a year to get them to work at the level of something else. And of course, I'm never satisfied there. So I keep going until we beat it, and then we bring it to market. And so in those situations, it's somewhat challenging. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, we've made several products that we could do it. We can make a phenomenal product, but it would never work because as costly as it is to do. There's still some of those materials that exist today to build these products in the bio-based world are very expensive. And so we've backed out on a couple projects because we just simply couldn't get the price where we needed it to be.
And I know, the challenge you have with, some of the bio, like the deck cleaner in particular, getting that to stabilize. It was a kind of a grueling task of months and months and months of testing and then doing this and then back and forth. And then the ingredients were all there. And I think it's, you had to figure out, the order of ingredients.
Correct.
To make it stable. So that was that was neat for me to be a part of that and kind of, be on some of those calls with you. So I'm very proud of that and what you guys were able to do. I was just the spectator in that. But I felt like I was part of it. I guess the final product, I don't know if you talked about that, but the one I think is really game changer is the gel applicator that's going to clean up the caulking, the marine caulking.
So again, this is one that just came straight from the voice of the customer. We've done such a nice job of building a solid set of customers for our mold and mildew prevention system, and people, we've changed the way they were dealing with this problem on their boats, and it's exciting to them. I mean, that's why you can go on social media and see our name everywhere. It's very easy, and the majority of most people don't go on social media unless they got something negative to say, right? Yeah. But this particular situation that in this industry, right? People have been trying to solve this for so long and have tried so many different things. When they finally find something, they want to tell everybody, and which is super cool. It's just super cool. And I mean, we've been at this for quite some time now, and I'm telling you, we may have had maybe 2% negative comments. Yeah. And out of those 2%, 98% of them with a phone call and focusing on the protocol came back and said, "Oh, I wasn't doing it right. It worked."
Sure.
Right. Yeah. And it's pretty amazing. This particular product was that we were solving some of these things, and I would go to shows and someone would come up and say, "Hey man, your stuff works awesome. Really love it. Did a great job. I can't get it out of my caulking." Right. You got anything for the caulking? And so I began to ask around and began to look at the market. Is there anything out there? What exists today? And I really couldn't find anything. And I would ask detailers what they would do, and the majority of them would offer a service to dig out the caulking and recalk the boat, which is a big job. Yeah. And they don't like to do it. They don't want to do it, and so I said, all right, let's see if we can solve this. So we began to play around with it, and then ended up coming up with a formula that's in a gel type formula. And that formula then is applied like toothpaste on the caulking seam, and you want to do it where it's either overnight, outside of the sunlight. You don't want it to sit in the sunlight because the sun will make it evaporate, and then it just sits on there and it brightens up the caulk and pulls those stains out of the caulk in a big way. So, that's the one I like. The thing I like about that is that that's always that last thing, right, where back to those people that really are driving to get their boat super clean. They may have a $500,000 yacht, and every time they walk by this little caulk seam, right, exactly, it drives them crazy because the boat's spotless everywhere else. And we've been able to go and say, okay, we can solve that little problem for you, right, and get you finally exactly there.
And from my experience, that's one of the first things that starts looking dingy and starts going. So that's good that you have a solution for that now. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah. And then again back to focusing on protocol, not only the chemical but the protocol itself. Our Shore Power Cord Cleaner, which you can see here, when you buy it in a gallon form, it comes with an abrasive mitt, and it seems so simple, right? But again, it's just one of those things where if I'm going to sell you this cleaner, I'm just not going to leave it up to you exactly how to get the best result. I want to show you exactly how to get the best result. Sure. And so we spent quite a bit of time working with a number of yachties in the Florida, South Florida area, and talking to them about their cords and what's happening there, and they're a mess, right? And so what they were using was acetone typically to clean them. Acetone's very aggressive. It's taking all the protective coating. I had some people that would actually use acetone to clean them and then go back with mop and glow and recoat them with mop and glow. Lengthy process, right? Lengthy process. And not only that, right? You're tearing that coating off, right? And it's creating a shorter lifespan for the hoses and the cords. And so we looked at it and said, can we tackle this with another bio-based solution? Because of the work we did on the degreaser, we were able to quickly modify that base formula and create a really nice product to take away that stuff that grows on a cord, and then apply that with an abrasive mitt that you can literally slide onto your hand, wrap your hand around that cord, and take it off all in one shot. If your cord's on a reel, every time you reel that baby back up in, spray it down and drag it in with your hand wrapped around the cord with the abrasive mitt on it, and you'll keep it clean for a long time. So again, just solving some of those challenges. We work with some very large yachting suppliers down in South Florida, and they really like this product. And again, the reason they really like it is because they've all found their way to try and solve this, and still not the best way to solve it. They know it, but they're all trying to do it. And as soon as you have something that you say, okay, here's how you do it, and they do it, right? Everybody's thrilled about it.
Yeah. You have an awesome product, and we're happy to carry this at our shop here at Lakescape and use it out in the field with our service team as well. So, Robert, thanks for coming by today and talking about it. Guys, if you have a a boat and you don't have Xanigo Marine, you need to have this. It is a necessary item to keep your boat maintained. Like you said, you get the mildew remover, get that on there. Then after that, you putting the preventer on and you keep it clean. Every 90 days, spray that on, wipe it in, smooth it out, and your boat's gonna stay clean with little hassle. And I hope this information has been helpful. If you want to get some Xanigo Marine, you can always go to xanigomarine.com, purchase it there. If you're local in the Lake Martin area, we do stock it here in our shop, and you can come by and check it out. And we can kind of go over the whole protocol and also go over each product with you and kind of give you details on how you need to apply these products. Join us next time. Thank you.